Welcome back, y'all. So in this video, we're talking about the 5 things I hate about the Ford SVT Lightning. So starting it off, number 5. Doesn't even really apply to ours because someone had recovered our seats. Although I do hate these because they're just slick and you slide all over in the car if you're driving it hard. But the factory suede, while I love suede interiors, these they just wear out. They would wear out really fast, especially like right here where this one's wearing out too, sliding in and out of the truck. And the side bolsters and both the seat bottom and the seat back would wear out really fast. It's just a thing that you have to deal with. 20-year-old car, or almost 21-year-old truck now. Deal with 21-year-old vehicle problems. Number 4. So back to that 21-year-old vehicle thing. Vehicles back then did not have 6-speed, 7-speed, 10-speed transmissions. You had a 4-speed, which one of those was an overdrive. So you really had a 3-speed transmission, which makes this truck kind of, pretty antiquated. You tend to turn really high RPMs for the engine that you're talking about here. And if you aren't careful in the summer, you can overheat things. The engine can run hot. The transmission can run way too hot. And if you get on it when the transmission's running at those temperatures, like, they can get up over 200 degrees, you can break some stuff. So you kind of got to be careful. That's kind of more important than number 3, which again, it's 21-year-old vehicle problems, because it's only got 4-speed and it's geared the way it is. Gas mileage. So these even new, we're only getting 15-16 miles of the gallon, running premium. So you got a high fuel bill with this vehicle. This one's even worse. It only gets about 12 miles of the gallon because 2 things. It has a high stall, like a 2600 stall converter, so that causes some fuel mileage decrease. And then also, whoever tuned this before tuned it really fat, so that as soon as it had a high load at low RPM, it's running way rich. It runs way rich at wide open throttle too. So I think I could fix some of that with the tune, which I'll get to eventually, as I do plan on putting this on the 85. So that brings me to number 2. It's kind of number 1. I guess I'm going to link them kind of together, but the motor. So I'm going to say number 2. Good old, because this is an 01, it has the 4-thread cylinder heads. Good old Triton. There's memes out there about it. They look like the Elon Musk satellites going into orbit. They just it randomly launches spark plugs out the head. We haven't had an issue with that. Sorry, the shocks on the hood on this one are getting old, but we haven't had a issue with that yet. And I'm trying to find wood to knock on, because yes, I believe in that. Oh boy. Well, in a pinch, wooden broom handle. We haven't had an issue with that, but I have experienced that. My first Lightning I bought in 05. It was an 01 as well. Had like 20,000 miles on it. Bought it on a Friday. Me and my ex-wife drove up to, about 150 miles away to her parents' house for the weekend. And on that Sunday, after they went to church and all that, taking her and her little sister into town. We were gonna take her, get some ice cream or whatever. Bam! Launches a spark plug out the head. managed to put a new spark plug in it and a coil pack. Got it home, took it to the dealer. Well, on the way to the dealership the next Monday, it blew that spark plug back out. So the dealership had to fix it. I did get a warranty on it, so they fixed it under warranty, but it was like $4,500 it would have cost if not. You know, they had to lift the cab off the truck, pull the motor out, you know, and redo the heads. So that's number 2, you know, the spark plug launching thing. Number 1, from the factory, the factory supercharger, if you port it, has enough, you can boost it enough to launch a factory rod out the block. The rods on these are the weak link in the motor, besides the spark plugs. They tend to, you know, about 450 wheel horsepower was generally considered the max limit you could go before you got reliability issues. And even at that level, even below that level, you know, you got to do things like, you know, if you're going to get on it and you're in overdrive, you got to make sure you turn overdrive off so it's not such a drastic, sharp change in RPM, because that could throw a rod, things like that. So they're not bulletproof from the factory like the Terminators were. And that's pretty much my number 1. Not a lot to say about it. I mean, you know, at the time these were really hot trucks. They always are, and you know, they still are sought after. You know, you can look at the resale values of them, and they're ridiculous. We got a screaming deal on ours as well, on this thing as well, because it wasn't running right. Someone didn't gap the spark plugs right. Supercharger belt was shot. Changed out those 2 things, and it ran like a top. But we got it for basically half the market value of it. Yeah, this is a quick one because not much that people don't know about these as far as the information's out there. They've been around since '99. You know, they really didn't change from '99 to '04 majorly. There are changes, but not major ones. So for the most part, the problems that one of them has, they all have, except for the spark plug thing, the '03 and '04s. It wasn't as big a deal because they had better heads. But anyway, that's just a quick video on 5 things I dislike about the SVT Lightning. So until next time, talk to y'all later.